Hello dear creative, you're welcome to today's class. Alright, in today's class I'll be teaching you on how to make a ruffle turban cap. Okay, and the materials involved for today's tutorial will have our fabric here. This is a normal fabric. You can use any fabric you come across. You can use a raw silk, you can use stretchy taffeta, you can use damask, you can use duchess, any kind of fabric. Any kind of fabric you come across, you are good to go. And we have a matching color thread. Please ensure whatever thing you're doing, I keep saying it on my video, make sure you're using a matching color thread, okay? And a needle, the big size of needle, that's what I like using. And your measuring tape, of course, and your chalk for marking, your scissors for cutting, and we'll be also having a strap for inserting it. We'll be inserting it right inside our turban, okay? And the measurements for today's tutorial for this design, we have, for the head circumference, we'll be doing a V-shaped turban. Okay, so the measurements for the V turban have here, we have 15 inches for the head circumference, okay, for one of the V shape, and we'll be cutting this in two places. This is one of it, and this is two of it. 15 inches by the head circumference, 15 inches, then the length by 16 inches, okay, see it here. 15 inches for the V part, then the body of the V is 16 inches. So we'll be cutting this in two straps. So we'll keep this one aside. And the handle, the measurements for the handle, we have 4 inches for the width, 4 inches for the width, okay, and 12 inches for the length. 4 inches for the width, 12 inches for the length, and we'll be cutting this also in two straps. This is for the handle, okay? So we'll be keeping this on aside. And for the main turban cap, which is for the ruffle design, we'll be working with 45 inches. 45 inches for the, this is it. Please bring it close so that they'll see it. This is 45 inches for the head circumference, and the length, if depending on the fabric you're using, you know, some materials comes in 60 inches for, that is the full length of the material. Some of them comes by 60, while some 55, while some 45. So whatever thing you come across, you can go with it. But for today's tutorial, I'll be making use of 55 inches for the length, okay? Remember, the head circumference is 45, here is 45 inches, and the length is 55 inches. So the material, the yard, how many yards of material, if you ask, I will be making use of 1.5 yard of fabric, okay? This design is for 1.5 yard of fabric. All right, let's get into the video. All right, from the 15 inches, which is the V part of the turban, because this is what I'll be using. For the 15 inches, you'll be folding in 1 inch inside. You measure 1 inch inside, then you fold it in. You fold again, fold it twice. Then this second one, make it bold, okay? The second folding will be 2 inch, then 1.5 inches. So you make it bold. You take it to your sewing machine, you sew from this end down to this other end. But since you're a first timer, I will advise you use your pin. Secure it first with your pin before taking it to your sewing machine. So I'll be securing it with my pin first, okay, so that I'll have a straight sewing. So you secure it with your pin. When you've achieved that, you flip it to the next, to the front side of the fabric. Here is the back, okay? This place here is the back, and then I'll be flipping it to the right side of the fabric. Here is the right side of the fabric. Then I will make my pleats. Now, making your pleats, you can pick from 3 inches from the edge of the fabric. Then you start from that 3 inches and pick your pleat. Move it down, okay? Move it to this point. Make sure it is covering the previous pin you have, okay? That's where our sewn part will be. Then you sew again. You take it to your sewing machine. You sew. This is where we'll be sewing it. You sew from this down part. Bring it close so that it will sit here. You sew from this down part here. Okay, let me use my pin. This is the down part, so that this place will be overlapping with this other previous pleats. If you bring it to this side, it would not be nice. Your thread will be obvious, okay? So you sew it down down to this place. You repeat the same process till you achieve the number of pleats you want, okay? Now this is what I'll be doing. I'll be taking it to my sewing machine. I'll take it to my sewing machine. Achieve the number of pleats you want, okay? I'll be making 4 pleats out of this. I'll be making 4 pleats out of this. So this is what I've gotten so far. Taking it to my sewing machine, I will sew it down. This is where I'll be sewing downward. Please note, this is where you'll be sewing from this down part, not this upside. So that while sewing from this down part, the next pleat you'll be doing it to be covering the previous sewn parts you did, okay? Then you do this in 4 places, and I'll keep this on aside. Do the same thing in this other side, then I will bring it for you to see. All right, stay tuned.